We were looking at the ADS model. We discussed the first component, the AS curve, where let's just go back to what we discussed in that. We discussed how the AS curve captures the effects of output on price level, and we derived it from a WSPS model. Now we want to discuss the second component, which is the AD curve. Now the AD curve captures the effect of price level on output. So notice how in the AS curve, we're looking at the effect of output on price level. So causality is going from Y to P. But in the ED curve, we're looking at the effect of price level on output. So the causality is going from P to Y. The AD curve is derived from equilibrium condition in the goods and financial market. So now let's talk about properties of AD curve. The first is that it's downward sloping. Whereas P increases, Y decreases. The mechanism through which this happens is this, that P increases, real money supply decreases. So graphically, we know the real money supply curve shifts towards the left in our money market diagram. As a result of this, interest rate increases, investment decreases. We know because interest rate represents the cost of borrowing. As investment decreases, we know demand decreases, and that causes a decrease in output. So now, as we mentioned, the first thing that you should note over here regards to ADAS and causality is in the AS relation, the causality goes from Y to P, where we learned that when Y increases, employment increases, for a given labor force, unemployment rate goes down, which causes W to go up from WS, and as a result, P increases from PS. So there's a causality from Y to P. But in the AD relation, the causality is from P to Y. So this is something important to keep in mind. In our ADS model in the text, in the AS relation, the causality is going from Y to P, and in the AD relation, the causality is going from P to Y. And behind the AS relation, the mechanism is coming through the WSPS model, and behind the AD relation, the mechanism is coming from our ISLA model.